it's Tisha Powell. Welcome to Talk Time. Today we're talking about digital assets, how to capitalize on digital assets. So, what makes me an expert on digital assets? I'm a former Wall Street attorney, and I have worked and have sued people in the banking and the finance departments. So that's what makes me an expert on money. I'm a former Wall Street attorney, and I'm live right now in New York, USA, and I'm the author of 3 books: The Homeowner's Guide to Surviving Foreclosure, which has to do with money, and I'm also an author. That's my cat. So let's talk about digital assets. All right. So first of all, the housing market. So I recently talked about the housing market, and I said that we're not in a housing bubble. And Reddit CEO had an article that said we were not in a housing bubble. And also, Dave Ramsey just released, he's a financial guru, Christian financial guru that has millions of followers. People are just saying that his theory was correct. We had a dip and we're back on our way up. So as I was telling people, you cannot have a housing bubble without having a housing shortage. The commercial real estate, that's a different story. So will the commercial real estate crash and then a residential crash? No, it doesn't work that way. And can you eat apple and then eat orange? I mean, one doesn't have anything to do with the other. It has to do a lot with the supply demand chain and the financing that went into it. In 2008, there were bad loans. In 2020, there were good loans. In 2020, I believe the commercial properties, they got bad loans. I know that the commercial real estate, they're all got some interest only. That's going to be a problem, interest only loans. And also, they're also vacant because a lot of people are working at home remotely. So young people, you could still save to catch the real estate market. Let's talk about digital asset. We have 5 minutes to go. So the digital asset. Why I like digital asset is because it's new. Novelty is always a good thing. It means that some people make money and others won't. So what I like as well, sweat equity. What's sweat equity, young people? You do not have to come up with a lot of money. So that's always a good thing. You just have to put in a lot of work. So it's always better to put in work than to put in money. All right. So, well, some people might say it's better to put in money, but when you don't have the money, you got to put in the work. The next thing I like about digital asset, it is something that's got to be done with the internet. And as you know, because of the internet, we know the cost is low. Think about e-commerce, think about YouTube, think about Facebook, think about TikTok, think about all those social media aspects, think about an internet web page, think about pictures. These are all digital assets, young people. So you got to get in on the game. And you want to also try to create a program, or you want to create a job that you could do over the internet, young people. I told people I started my job with $22 in my bank account 27 years ago, okay? The internet was around, and the internet is even better today, young people. So look into what are digital assets. Look into getting digital assets at low cost startup, and look for it to have staying power. So there's some things you need to know about digital asset. Anytime you talk about money, you talk about a risk, okay? Anytime you're dealing with money, understand there's a risk. So even though a digital asset will have value, it also has risk. And we know it has risk because we see what's going on with cryptocurrency. We know there are 23,000 of them, and some of them we think aren't going to make it. So, well, the SEC suing, so obviously some won't make it. But the digital asset space is going to go forward. So the government will have to figure out, what's what, but we've got to move forward. This is life. This is a novelty. This is an ecosystem we've got to feed. The internet is changing the game, young people, and you need to get on board with this digital asset, this internet space, and also the talent and skills you need. I tell people, look at what you're gifted at, try to get in on that, and work on your reputation, because whatever you say is what's going to go out there. So you are your brand. Even in the digital space, you will be the brand. So you need to work on that and create a web page so people know where to get a hold of you. Web pages are like $1 or $2 a month. All right. And don't be afraid of sweat equity. Keep your day job, young people, while you start a new job. Keep your day job while you pursue the digital asset space. We'll talk more about the digital asset space. I named a few to you during the time: the cryptocurrency, the internet bases us, YouTube, web pages, Amazon. That's a digital asset space as well. And even crowdfunding. So anything you think that you could make money on, there's about 2 billion people on the internet daily now. So it's going to be a norm for us to be in that e-commerce cycle. I was also reading that the retail store, some of them have the 3D now. So young people get into the digital asset space, but look at getting in with low cost startup. That's the way, because you need staying power. So sweat equity, internet startup, and try to do a product or service that you do not need to advance any money. And like I tell everybody, set your money before you start your business. Before you start your business, know what you're going to be in business for, how people contact you, number two. And number three, I tell everybody is go ahead and set the amount you're going to charge people for, because that's 80% of the small business fail because people do not collect money. So do not be one of those. Learn as much as you can about the digital asset space, because this is here. We are in a digital era. People are getting digital wallets. Okay. Cryptocurrency, Bitcoin. Bitcoin is not even being sued by the SEC. So Bitcoin is here to stay. In fact, some people say Bitcoin is a currency. So get in on the digital asset. I'm Tisha Powell. Subscribe now. We'll talk more. Subscribe. We're going to have more this week. Every week. This week, we're talking money. We are talking money. We have guests coming on to talk about money and real estate, how you can make money from real estate, how you can make money starting a business, how we can make money starting business on the internet, and more about the digital asset space. I'm Tisha. Thanks for watching. See you real soon. Take care. Bye.
Hi, it's Tisha Powell with Red White Truth. So you like shows like this? Not a problem. We're on social media. We're not on Twitter. We're on Instagram. Our information just popped up. We're on Gab. Information just popped up as well. We're on YouTube. We're on Facebook. All the information for our social media is being popped up. And you know what? The old-fashioned way. What about just going to our webpage? insurancelawyertish.com. Yeah, I still practice law, but you know what? I'm excited and I just want to bring to you more of these shows. If you want to see more of these programs, reach out to us on social media. We are looking forward to hearing from you. All right? So get us on social media. We're not on Twitter. We're on YouTube, Facebook, and we're on all others. All the information pop up. We'll see you.
Hi, welcome to Talk Time. I'm your host, Tisha Powell. I'm a Wall Street attorney. I'm an author and I'm a mom of 9-year-old twins. We're live in New York, United States, and we're on YouTube now. We used to do the news show on cable channel. Now we're doing it on the internet. So subscribe so you can get more information. So I want to cover some stuff because the majority of the people that watch my show, they're on the Generation Z. They're very young. They're between 18 to 55, and I feel very privileged. I'm 47 years old, and 18-year-olds watch me. So thank God. I feel pretty cool. Student loans. So let me explain something to young people, because I know a lot of them voted for President Biden, and he promised them that their student loans, he would forgive them, and it's down to probably they're going to get $10,000 in forgiveness. I think the average student loan in the United States is what, 50, 90 grand. I went to school in the United States. I'm an attorney here. It took me 7 years to go through. I'm very, very privileged. I worked 40 hours a week, and I did that for 7 years while I went to school. So that's what I'm telling young people. There are ways out of the student loans. One way, which I took that route, and I worked full time. So you work a full-time job and you go to school either on the internet at night. So let me explain what I did. Start with a community college. That's the best option for you. Start with a community college because it's the cheapest. Number two, then you transfer to another college. So the idea, young people, is to try to work a full-time job and try to go to school at night. That's what I did for 7 years. So that's one of the way out of the student loans. The next way is to look into scholarships. Try to avoid getting any debt with a bachelor's degree. That's the trick. You probably take on debt for the master's, but you have to understand student loan is not an asset unless it's for graduate school. So I'm telling young people, do everything you can to try to get that 4-year degree by working a full-time job, starting a job and going to school at night, or trying to get scholarships, or trying to save, or try to find a job that will pay for you to go to school. I know that Starbucks and a couple of people, like, if you work for them full time, then you'll get to go get a degree. And I think a lot of corporations are like that in America. So looking overseas, look at overseas. Michael Moore had that on his documentary, and I've also seen and spoken to people on flights when I'm traveling all over America, because I do these TV shows often, and I interview people, and some people have degrees, some Americans have degrees from overseas that actually physically left America and went to college and university overseas and then come back. So that's another option. America is beautiful, but the world is a beautiful place. But I'm just trying to tell young people there are other ways to go to school for cheap or for free without student loans. The goal is to try not to take on any student loans during the first 4 years, and just, maybe for the masters, but try to work 40 hours a week. And I understand most people can't. And try to work as much as you can, or move in with a family member while you go to school. I'm Tisha Powell. We're about to cover the housing market. We'll be back shortly.